Good afternoon, everyone. CountryFlyboy here, and today, a flight sim add-on review. Today, we're going to be reviewing FS Captain, which is a virtual airline add-on. Essentially, it's flying for a virtual airline without actually being in a virtual airline. So it does quite a few amount of things. It does quite a bit. So I got it. One of the main things of it is the administrator brought up here. So as you can see, I got a flight schedule. Let's go into it real quick. You can pick which airline you want to fly for. It has a lot of airlines included already. You can customize things about the airlines as well. So I took Delta because Delta is where I'm from. Delta has a big presence. Okay, so I'm from Georgia. Delta is like just here. So naturally, Delta Airlines is the one I took. I've customized it a bit to what I like to fly, so it is highly customizable. You can change things up to suit you. This add-on does have a glaring problem, one that a lot of flight sim add-ons these days have, and that is it tries to do too many things at once. So this add-on is trying to be a management add-on. Well, not really a management add-on, but it's trying to be a virtual airline add-on, a FS passengers add-on, and a bunch of other stuff. Flight planning. Well, it does crap flight planning. I don't even know if I can really say it's a flight planning add-on. But yeah, it does all that, and it just doesn't do any of them that good. There are better things out there that do what it does. However, this is the only add-on of its kind that does what you'll see later. I just want to specify you can turn all of that stuff off. You can turn the passengers, the co-pilot, the flight attendants, all of that off if you have other add-ons that do that stuff. Because this one is probably the worst when it comes to that stuff. So I have all of that turned off because I have other things running it. Let's go into the next issue I have with the administrator. When you minimize it, it minimizes over to a corner. And what that means is, if you try to run any other add-on, or any other program for that matter. Let me just load up Calc real quick. I have to minimize that program to switch back to this one if I want to. See, it minimizes over to a corner instead of down to the taskbar down here. So yeah, that's a pretty annoying that you have to do that. There's a few programming issues with this. Not really things that'll crash. It's just little things that are a bit trivial. They just add up and they get to you. One of which is this right here. If you want to select a flight plan, okay, so every airline will have a schedule for it that you can select which flight you want to do. You can click Get an Assignment, in which case it will pick a flight for you, which I don't like to do because it could pick any flight. You could list flights, in which you select your departure airport and aircraft you want to fly, and then it will list all the flights on the schedule from that departure airfield to using the aircraft you selected. You can add flights to this as well, but they'll always show up as chartered flights. It's really hard to pick a flight because this list is not sorted. It's sorted by flight number, and that's it. You cannot change the sort on this list. So if you're like me and you like to fly in real time, you tend to pick airplane or flights based off of when their departure time is. See, like it's 1:30 now, so I'd want to pick a flight that departs around 2:30 to 3 o'clock. But since I can't sort this list, I have to scroll down the entire freaking list. Look how many flights there are. There's easily 200 or 300 flights on this list right now, departing Atlanta with a 737. It's crazy. And since I can't sort it, I have no way of knowing. What gets to you the most is if you go to airline definitions, select the airline, click schedule. Here you see the entire schedule, not sorted by, or not critiqued by the, or filtered by the aircraft type. You see the entire schedule, all airports, all destinations, all departure times. You can sort this one. See, I can sort by departure time. I can sort by destination, departure field, flight number. All of them. I can sort by all that, but I can't do it on this one. That is so annoying. It's a small problem, but it's very annoying. And unfortunately, it's so annoying this add-on does lose points for that. So, yeah, real quick, this one is the one I chose. We'll take Flight 699 out of Atlanta, 14:54 departure to Daytona Beach. That's a nice short flight we can do. 737-800 with winglets. So we want to pick that flight. We'll just select it. Now this down here is the dispatch stuff. I typically at this point just drop this and use FSBuild or SimBrief or some other flight planning thing, because this is terrible at flight planning, but it's not really meant to be a flight planner. The only thing is, whatever flight planner you use, you got to make sure that this information matches. Otherwise, you could get in trouble later. So real quick, I'm going to plan a flight with SimBrief. We'll take 699 Atlanta to Daytona. And we'll hop in the sim real quick so you can see the other side to this add-on. This is the management side. So let's look at the actual flying side of it. And as I'm planning the flight with SimBrief, I noticed one other thing is there may be a way to do this, but I haven't found it yet. These times are all in local, so you can't have them be in Zulu. That's another thing that's annoying, is you have to constantly convert from local to Zulu instead of just putting in Zulu time. Yeah, that's, like I said, a lot of small things that add up to be a big problem. So yeah, you can't sort the list and you can't put the times in Zulu. Alright, here we are in the sim in Atlanta. I printed out the SimBrief dispatch. I have it here on my clipboard. So we'll have, and there, you'll find out during the video why I did that, because it comes into play a lot later with this add-on, even though that's from SimBrief and this is a separate thing. So we have some time to kill before the departure time. I want to bring your attention to this gauge here. Let me turn it on. This is a gauge that comes with FS Captain. This is one of them. There's a second version of this one, which is a smaller version. But I like this one because it's a lot easier to work with. This is what you use to communicate with the dispatch office of your airline. So, yeah. You will be using this to communicate with the dispatch office at the airline. Let me log in real quick. Okay, so since I committed that flight earlier from the administrator, it sees that I have loaded up the chosen aircraft at the departure airfield, and it wants to know if this is the flight I want to fly. So, is this flight 699 to Daytona Beach departing at 15:54? Yes, let's look at the manifest real quick. So here we can see the manifest, 160 passengers, their bags, an air conditioner, mail, peanuts, and more mail. So yes, this is the flight. We'll click proceed. 160 passengers. Total payload is 0. I'm actually going to click return right now because I need to set the payload in the PMDG. So 160 passengers, we'll put 150 here and 10 there, and I have a spreadsheet that I'll bring up in a second, so I'll put the cargo in there in a minute. This is what you use to communicate with your dispatch office. Now, the best way to show this add-on off is to just fly the flight, and I'll turn the camera on when needed. But I'm going to point another negative out about this add-on. Yeah, there's quite a few negatives, but they're small negatives. It's just they add up. This add-on will play sounds. You can't hear them right now because, one, I've disabled them. There's no way to disable them in the add-on itself. You have to find the sound files that plays and mute them, basically, which is what I did. I replaced the sound files with silent files because the sounds it plays are oh so annoying. It plays a sound when the aircraft has its doors open. It's a looping sound that I guess is supposed to be the aircraft's air conditioner running. But oh my god, is it annoying, especially in a plane like this one that has its own sounds and is very good sounds. So you really don't need this sound from here. So I've disabled all of those loop sounds that it plays. I've kept the sounds that I need enabled from it, like there's an alarm that it will sound whenever I get a message from dispatch. So yes, dispatch office will communicate with you on these flights, and you have to communicate with them. So that's one of the negatives. Now, on one of my practice flights before recording this, it was fun because I kept getting messages from the dispatch office telling me the weather in Atlanta was below minimums and I should consider diverting to my alternate or holding for better weather. So this add-on will tell you when you need to go into a holding pattern. You can set the weather minimums in the administrator. So I set my minimum weather to be Cat 1 ILS minimums. If they're below that, then the program will tell me, hey, you need to divert, or we're going to place you on hold. Either if you haven't departed yet, they're going to put you on a gate hold. If you're already in the air, they'll tell you to divert to hold for better weather. So yeah, I think the best thing to do is to just show a flight with this add-on so you can see what it does. So let's do that. Alright, so the door is closed and we are ready to proceed as indicated by the FS Captain ACARS unit. No auto fuel load, proceed. We are cleared for departure. I'll let GSX handle my pushback. Cabin is ready for departure now. So let's go ahead and tell GSX we are ready for pushback. Ice warning. No ice from dispatch. This will handle icing too. We're not going to worry with icing from GSX. As for the pushback direction, we need a right pushback. Alright, so we're cleared for departure. Pushback is underway. We'll say our off-block time was 1956, 2 minutes behind schedule. I wrote that down on the navlog.
Before start checks.
Okay, before start checks. Doors.
Closed and locked.
Alright, so as we level off at top of climb, we got a few things we need to do. I'll go ahead and turn the seatbelt signs off. Flight attendants, we're at the top of climb there.
We would like to take this opportunity.
18 November 7, traffic is 4 o'clock, 4 miles, at 16 south. 18 Aaron, report them in sight.
Alright, so we're level off at top of climb now. So now we need to let dispatch know. Top of climb report transmitted. So what I just did was I sent a position report that we have reached top of climb to dispatch. As of right now, we are running 10 minutes early, according to this. Now look how close top of descent is. I'm going to go ahead and tell you that since there's no star, it kind of throws off the FMS a bit. So let's look at some of the things you can do with this add-on in cruise. So as you can see, we can revise our current ETE. We can request a divert. We can cancel the flight. Declare an emergency. We can look at progress. Alright, so 699 Atlanta to Daytona. Estimated time en route 48 minutes. The time is 026. Distance remaining. Payload, gross, all that fun stuff. You can look at other things. The key thing you need to look at is the comms. I'm a bit scared to hit this because my mouse is double clicking for some reason, but so we can transmit position reports. We can request different things. We can request runway status at Daytona Beach, which I'll go ahead and do. So we'll request the runway status at Daytona Beach. Reply is pending, so we can't send any more requests right now. And we can just get rid of this window. So this window, that allows us to communicate with dispatch office as we're airborne, so we can get weather from there. We can get runway updates. We can get gates. Okay, that was the indicator that we have a message. Message lights on. We click messages. Daytona Beach, braking reported good. All runways. Expect update in 7 minutes approximate. So as you can see, we can do a lot of things. We can request gates at Daytona Beach. We can request an early approach clearance, transmit a possible divert, update PAX count, delays, anything like that. But as of right now, we have no reason to really talk to them. We talk to them if we need to. They'll send us anything if they need to. So that is a really unique thing that no other add-on does, is communicating with dispatch, which is FS Captain is great for that. That's the thing it does great. It's the other things it doesn't do great that lets it down. Alright, so we'll continue on, and we'll pick this back up at top of descent when we have to transmit a new position report. Alright, so I'm not using default ATC, but at this point on this flight in real life, this is usually where they tell you to descend to 260. So we're going to do that thing. We're going to descend down to flight level 260. So we have started our descent. 79 on the Mach. So we need to let dispatch know that. Comms, top of descent. Now it's at this point dispatch is going to send us a clearance into the airfield. We can land without dispatch clearance. All that means is that they're going to send us what gate we can expect to park at and whatnot. All of that is completely optional. You can turn that feature off, but I kind of like to have it. Alright, so we need to get the weather as we descend down. Let's look at I went to the wrong page. Progress, weather, destination. So this is the weather, and this matches what OPUS tells me. I've checked it numerous times, so this is the current weather at Daytona Beach. 7th at 1953 Zulu, so it's almost time for an update. So we'll check this again before we land, because it'll probably update. Winds were 310 at 10, favoring runway 25 right. Visibility's 10, skies are scattered at 5,500. Temperature 192.3, altimeter 3014, so we need to set that on standby. Altimeter 3014 is set. Auto brake set level 2. Descent checklist.
Okay, descent checks.
Okay, descent checks.
Alright, we just got a message from dispatch. Cleared approach into Daytona Beach. Expect gate 4. Winds 310 at 10. Runway's good. Alright. So we are cleared into Daytona Beach. We'll be parking at gate 4. So make a note of that. Which it will tell you what gate you get when you get on the ground. Missed approaches, climb straight ahead to 1,700. Landing runway 25 right. Traffic will be landing
spoilers,
34.
please.
Spoilers armed.
I don't see any in the traffic. I don't. Okay, there he is. 5 miles out. Alright, we should be able to. He shouldn't be a factor. He's landing on the crosswind runway. He shouldn't be a factor, but in this situation, he would have to land and hold short of 25 right. A little high.
Approaching minimums.
Runway in sight.
Minimums.
Landing.
Localizer alive. Localizer captured.
40.
Set missed approach heading, please.
20. 10.
Spoilers up. Manual
Reverse.
braking. Reverse thrust engaged. 100 knots. 80 knots. Reverse idle. 60 knots.
Manual braking. Alright, get rid of the HUD. Not a bad landing. Alright, so at this point, just clear the runway. Remember, when working with this add-on, you need to aviate, navigate, communicate. Flying the plane is always your top priority. Communicate includes ATC and second, dispatch. Dispatch is actually after the communicate part of ATC.
Altitude 150, contact ground on 121.9.
Flaps 25. Left 15.
121.9er, Delta 2150.
Left 10.
Not a bad touchdown, even if I do say so myself.
Left 5.
Alright, so we were told to park at
Left
gate
2.
4. Let's bring up GSX.
Left
We're
1.
parking gate 4. No follow me, I know where the gate's at. So at this point, dispatch is
Left up.
well aware that we have landed, and as you can see, they remind us of our gate. They also give us a position. That the gate is bearing 053 and 1,100 meters right now, but we have GSX, no need to worry about that. After landing checks.
Well, that was quite a bump, and I know what you're all thinking. I'm here to tell you it wasn't the airline's fault. It wasn't the pilot's fault. It wasn't even the flight attendant's fault. It was...
Our speed is too high.
We asked that you remain seated with your seatbelt and no fasten.
Alright, we'll take taxiway November 5 into the ramp.
Of our flight, so we asked you to check backseat pockets, closets, and overhead bins for any articles
Spoilers
that might have
down.
Extra care should be taken when opening the overhead bin, as I'm sure the articles were shifted during our flight. Anything left behind will...
Looks like there's a company MD-80 and there's a citation parked at the gate for some reason.
For those passengers with connected flights, please refer to the departure monitors located in the main hall just inside the terminal.
Actually, let's go down and take Alpha 1. It'll be easier. So we'll turn into the ramp with Alpha 1 and then go over to Alpha 2.
And remember, the last one off the plane must clean it.
Alright, so that was FS Captain. That was my review of FS Captain. On the scale of 0 to 5, with 0 being the worst, 5 being the best, I have to give this add-on a 3. It is very good at what it does, but it fails at some things. There's a lot of small problems with it, like I mentioned earlier. The lack of sorting in the flight dispatch and a few other things really, really let it down. So if those problems get fixed, this add-on could be an easy 4. This add-on would be an easy 4 on the scale if it wasn't for that. So, now that I've showed you the add-on, I hope you've gotten an idea of what this add-on's like. It is really interesting. Like I said, it's the only add-on of its kind that does the communication with dispatch thing. But at the same time, it tries to do some other stuff that it fails at. There are better add-ons out there as far as working with a first officer and passengers are concerned. Hell, even the freeware one, my sound effects panel that I'm using, it's can still be better.
Well, that was quite a bump.
Oh wait, that's already played. Alright. Turn taxi light off. All we gotta do is park the plane and then shut her down.